profession in Nigeria. About 200,000 Kirat Ogundiji. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerian medical doctors and other healthcare professionals in the diaspora to return home and lend their expertise to the ongoing transformation of the nation's healthcare sector. President Tinubu made the call when he received a delegation of Nigerian diaspora medical associations worldwide and the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Iruwa, as part of the 2026 National Diaspora Day celebration at the State House, Abuja. The president acknowledged that Nigeria needs the knowledge, innovation, experience, and patriotism of its highly skilled professionals abroad to build a resilient and world-class healthcare system for all citizens. President Tinubu reaffirmed that the Renewed Hope agenda places healthcare at the center of national development. He stressed that the federal government is implementing far-reaching reforms to strengthen primary healthcare, expand access to quality medical services, and encourage greater collaboration with Nigerian professionals in the diaspora. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has raised concern over the state of child protection in Nigeria. It revealed that 6 in every 10 children experience some form of abuse, while only 2 in 5 children under 5 have their births registered. UNICEF also disclosed that 2 in every 5 young women in Nigeria were married before the age of 18, describing the figures as a stark reminder of the urgent need to strengthen child protection systems nationwide. Speaking at the Child Protection Media Review and Consultations for UNICEF's 2028 to 2032 country program in Abuja, UNICEF Nigeria's Chief of Child Protection, Natalie Macaulay, said statistics represented millions of children whose safety, identity, and future opportunities remained at risk. Macaulay urged government and development partners to adopt a more focused, evidence-driven approach to child protection. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has reported an increase in confirmed Lassa cases in epidemiological week 28 after a decline in week 27. This is with cumulative confirmed infections rising to 963 and deaths reaching 229 in 2026. According to the NCDC Lassa fever situation report, new confirmed cases dropped from 31 in week 26 to 14 in week 27 before increasing to 25 in week 28. The report said that this indicated continued transmission across affected states. It also said that the week 28 cases were reported in Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Kogi, and Cross River, while week 27 cases were recorded in Ondo, Edo, Benue, Bauchi, and Kogi. The report showed that as of week 28, Nigeria had recorded 963 confirmed cases and 229 deaths, with a case fatality rate of 23.8%, higher than 18.7% recorded during the same period in 2025. NCDC urged continued surveillance, early case detection, prompt treatment, strict infection prevention and control measures, and sustained community awareness to reduce transmission and prevent further deaths from Lassa fever. Nigerian troops of Combat Team 7 under Operation Fazanyama have neutralized several notorious bandit leaders and restored security along strategic Funtua-Safe-Gusau highway. The unit commander, Captain A.U. Usman, disclosed the development while addressing journalists on Saturday. Speaking during a visit by the defense correspondents to the unit's operational base in Safe, Zamfara State, Usman said that the achievements were recorded over the past 6 months through sustained offensive operation and strategic deployment of troops at identified bandit crossing points. Usman said the military established several pickets along the Funtua-Safe-Gusau road, particularly at known bandit crossing routes previously used to ambush travelers. He noted that the deployment has significantly reduced attacks on commuters, ending frequent incidents of kidnapping and armed assaults that once made the highway unsafe. The commander said the improved security have restored public confidence, with motorists now able to travel freely along the route. In a different situation, the coalition of northern group CNG has condemned the killing of 23 farmers by suspected hand bandits in Zuana district of Talanta Mafarawa local government area of Zamfara state. CNG urged the federal government to launch decisive security operations to end the wave of attacks on rural communities. The coalition described the massacre as a grim reminder of the worsening insecurity in parts of northern Nigeria, warning that persistent attacks on farmers could undermine the country's food security and worsen economic hardship. In a statement on Saturday, its national coordinator, Comrade Jamilu Garanchi, expressed condolences to the families of the victims, the people of Zuana district, and the Zamfara state government over the called unacceptable loss of innocent lives. According to the group, the victims were attacked while working on their farms, a development it said reflects the growing audacity of hand bandits operating across the region. The coalition called on President Bola Tinubu, the National Security Advisor, the Chief of the Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and other security agencies to intensify coordinated military and intelligence operations across Zamfara and other banditry-prone states. In a related development, scores of women, youths, and residents demanded the release of 176 abductees from Woro Kayama local government area of Kwara State, abducted on the 3rd of February 2026. They staged a peaceful protest in Kayama, the local government headquarters, lamenting that the abductees had spent 171 days in the abductors' den. The protesters, who turned out in large numbers, expressed dissatisfaction with what they described as prolonged silence on their efforts to secure the victims' release. The placards wielding protesters marched from Kayama roundabout to the Emir's Palace police station and the local government secretariat. Speaking during the protest, President of the Kayama Development Association, Alhaji Salihu Yakubu, said the abductees had remained in captivity since February 3rd this year, with any official update on the rescue. Yakubu claimed that more than 300 people lost their lives during the attack on the community, while 176 others, comprising of women, children, and men, were abducted. He ruled the absence of the government's presence in the area, saying residents had been neglected for too long, and appealed for swift commitment to securing the release of the abductees. The Nigerian police force has refuted reports claiming that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, ordered police officers to shoot anyone found with illegal firearms at sight. The force insisted that the report is entirely false and a misrepresentation of the IGP's actual comments. In a statement issued by the force public relations officer, CSP Annie Iniedu, the police high command said the report, which had since gone viral on social media, was taken out of context and twisted to mislead the public. According to the police spokesperson, the IGP at no time issued any shoot on sight order during the stakeholders meeting held in Maiduguri, Benue State, in Makurdi, Benue State. In his address, the IGP spoke about the growing problem of illegal weapons, which are often used by criminals to carry out kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, court violence, and other serious crimes. According to the statement, the Inspector General stressed that officers must always act within the law and follow the approved rules for the use of force, stating that no time did he instruct officers to shoot anyone simply because they were found with a legal firearm. We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay with us.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
This your 100% mania. Babes, I think you want to spend this much on hair. This your life just increase what? I think for this one separately on money points. You see, you save on money points. This money points here. The array of your dryer there is 30 savings money points I used to have it. The rest of this my sub is this savings money points I used to do it. The array of this my staff is save as you transact.
Jennifer, money point save as you transact. Money point fixed savings and money point target savings.
What's up? Why did I tell you to contribute to it? Why should they? Come on, oh, you go give your money to Hadaku to save. You see money point accounts there. You don't go open a savings account. Now Hadaku you shoot. I beg everybody inside this my saloon. Oh, yeah, bring out your phone and download the money point hack now. Even you. What are you waiting for? Download the money point hack now. Hadaku, wow, open money point account.
Money point made for your progress.
Welcome back. The Oyo State Police Command has arrested the suspected armed robber and recovered the tricycle allegedly stolen at the gunpoint in Ilorin, Kwara State. The arrest followed a routine intelligence-led stop and search operation by operatives of the command monitoring unit along the Oyo-Ogumosho Road after receiving credible information from members of public about a suspected stolen tricycle. The suspect, identified as 31-year-old Akindele Sheung, was intercepted at Irepo area while riding the tricycle. According to the police, the suspect confessed during interrogation that he robbed the owner of the tricycle at gunpoint in Ilorin before fleeing with it into Oyo State. The recovered tricycle has been taken into police custody while efforts are ongoing to trace the rightful owner and apprehend other persons connected with the crime. Reacting to the development, the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, CP Abimbola Ayodeji Olugbenga, reaffirmed the command's commitment to ensuring that Oyo State does not serve as a safe haven for criminals. Following his activeness in the Vineyard of God, Emmanuel Baptist Church, Ogumosho, on Saturday organized a memorial service of the church's late deacon, John Olaleye. Deacon Olaleye was one of the victims of May 15 attack in Uriri, who died in captivity. BCOS correspondent in Ogumosho, Adiremi Akomo, was at the church during the service. His report.
It was a moment of mourning, sorrow and pain as teachers, friends, wife, children and family members of late Deacon John Olaleye gathered at Emmanuel Baptist Church, Saliafon, Ogumosho on Saturday for a memorial service organized in his honor. Deacon Olaleye was among the abductees of the May 15 attacks on 3 schools in Orire local government area of Oyo State, but was killed on the first Sunday in June by the abductors in a gruesome way in captivity. Investigations, however, revealed that the corpse is yet to be recovered, but his commitment to the work of God facilitated the memorial service in the church. Delivering his message, Reverend Daniel Adewale, who spoke on the place to feature, said every individual has places to feature, stressing that no prayer or fasting can change plans of God and no happening changes his existence. The cleric maintained that the attack of May 15 and the traumatized situation in captivity for 56 days are challenges and lessons for all faithful, noting that people pray when they are in trouble alone, equally assuring the widow and children that God is still with them.
We cannot compare this God. And that is why even in this happening, we cannot compare it. We can only follow his way because he owns our future.
Speaking on behalf of the Commissioner for Education, Honorable Olusegun Olaiwola, the Permanent Secretary and Inspector General of Education, Ministry of Education, Ogumosho Zone 1, Reverend Uyidokun described the late Olaleye as a dedicated teacher who committed his efforts to build leaders of tomorrow until his last day, charging the widow to have solace in God.
òrùlé àdúrà wọn pé ọlọ́run fúnra rẹ̀ yóò tu ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wá nínú.
The Director of Administration Teachers Service Commission, TESCOM in Ogbomoso, Mr. Michael Ojelabi, who represented the Permanent Secretary and Tutor General TESCOM Ogbomoso Office, Dr. Mrs. Salmat Ayegboyin, said the late teacher will be remembered for his mastery in the field of teaching and contribution to the growth of TESCOM in general. Also in their separate tribute, NUT, teachers of Community High School Esiele, Old Students Deaconate Association, among others, described the day as a period of pain and sorrow. Special prayers were offered for the families, teachers, and Oyo State. Late John Olayinka Olale was born July 12, 1979 and died in captivity on June 7, 2026 at the age of 47 and survived by an aged mother, wife, and 3 children. In the meantime, a philanthropist in Ogbomoso, Dr. Kunle Adegbite, has promised to take responsibility of the welfare of the 3 children of late John Olale, including their education up to university level. Dr. Adegbite spoke through his spokesperson, Surveyor Oladejo Oladipo, in an interview with BCOS News after the memorial service. Dr. Adegbite expressed condolences to the immediate and extended families, along families of those victims of the May 15 attacks.
Meanwhile, the conviction of accomplices in the Orire kidnapping case has reignited public debate over the appropriate punishment for those involved in the kidnapping-related offenses. While some Nigerians are calling for death penalty as a stronger deterrent, others argue that life imprisonment is more just and effective punishment. Staff reporter Olubumi Lawal reports.
Kidnapping remains one of Nigeria's most disturbing security challenges, leaving victims traumatized, forcing families to pay huge ransoms, and in many cases, claiming innocent lives. The recent sentencing of accomplices of the Orire kidnapping case has renewed public debate over whether life imprisonment or the death penalty is the more appropriate punishment for those involved in the crime. Some residents who spoke with BCOS News insisted that anyone aids, abates, or participates in kidnapping should face the maximum punishment prescribed by law, arguing that stiffer penalties will serve as a strong deterrent to would-be offenders.
Whatever can make you to be accomplice of killers, you should go with them. Judgment should blame all of it together.
The judgment is the reason why they stopped what they call death by shooting, or what they call it, confined by in those days. I don't know why it should be stopped. It shouldn't. At least it creates fears into those that are coming behind, so they will have to stop. So all this life sentence is not enough.
Others, however, believe that although kidnappers and their accomplices deserve severe punishment, life imprisonment is a more appropriate sentence. They contend that it permanently removes dangerous criminals from society while preserving the principles of justice and the sanctity of life.
The judgment given to the accomplices are okay. That's the okay for them. Then for the culprits, I know that the view of the government that will be given to them will be quite different from what they give to the accomplices. So we are still expecting the government to do something about what is going to happen to the case. But for the accomplices, it's not necessary.
For every offense, there is a stated law. And I believe we should go by what the law states as a punishment for each offense.
A legal practitioner, Mr. Oyewale Oyegoke, while reacting to the court's judgment, explained that the law provides both minimum and maximum penalties for kidnapping-related offenses, noting that the convicted accomplices received the minimum sentence because they were found guilty of aiding the commission of the crime rather than being the principal offenders.
The justification for that, from the lens of the law, is that for every punishment, the law provides for both maximum and minimum punishment. Regarding the Orire kidnap, without sounding modest, the GOC told the journalists that they allowed the real terrorists to walk away. So those that were quickly tried are 3 among the 8 initially arrested, who are facilitating logistics for the kidnappers. So I don't see anything wrong there if they are given minimum sentencing for aiding and abetting terrorism.
As the debate over life imprisonment and the death penalty continues, many Nigerians agree that the most effective response to kidnapping lies in stronger security, prompt prosecution, and the consistent enforcement of the law. With kidnapping still posing a serious threat to lives and livelihoods, citizens remain hopeful that improved law enforcement, speedy justice, and sustained security reforms will restore public confidence and make communities safer. Olubumi Lawal, BCOS News.
We shall now go on another short break. Please stay with us.
Our bodies get serums, washes, lotions, cleansers, scrubs, but underarms only get deodorant? That's why our new breakthrough formula contains pure hyaluron and vitamin C to deeply care for your underarms for a softer and even skin tone in 2 weeks. With 72 hours sweat and odor protection, try the new Nivea Derma Control Natural Tone because your underarms deserve more. Nivea is for skin.
Welcome back. The Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, says African nations must take their rightful place in controlling the continent's resources and global trade. Shettima spoke in Cotonou, Republic of Benin, during a tour and assessment of the Glo-Ngigwe Industrial Zone. He said Africa must maximize its vast natural endowments by developing industries capable of processing raw materials into high-value products. The Vice President said Nigeria's renewed industrialization drive would leave no region behind, with the federal government working alongside subnational governments. He expressed satisfaction with Benin's efforts to achieve mass production and export of locally sourced resources. The Vice President said the visit would help Nigeria learn from Benin's experience in creating integrated value chains for cotton, cashew, and soya bean. The increasing desperation to make money at all costs has been identified as a major factor fueling proliferation of fake universities across Nigeria. An education measurement and evaluation scholar, Professor Adams Onuka, made the observation while discussing the topic X-raying illegal admission and fake universities on the BCOS News magazine program Saturday Special. Staff reporter Vidora Afolagoye monitored the program.
The National University Commission, NUC, recently identified 58 illegal universities operating across Nigeria, thereby heightening concerns over fake admissions and the activities of unapproved tertiary institutions. The development spurred a renewed call for stricter regulation and enforcement to protect prospective students and preserve the integrity of the nation's higher education system. Speaking on BCOS Saturday Special, education measurement and evaluation scholar Professor Adams Onuka said the proliferation of fake universities became more pronounced after the licensing of private universities in Nigeria. He maintained that there should be no excuse for operating an illegal institution, noting that the NUC has a well-defined registration and approval process which genuine promoters must follow.
When you talk about fake universities, by the time we started approving private university in LIPS, you are sure that there are people who will also fake. Because it's not only in the case of a tertiary institution that you have fake. Everything, you have heard that a whole agency is fake. That if you have a whole agency of federal government being alleged to be fake, then you can understand why you can have fake universities where you have approval being given to many universities and is. Well, I think the people who gain admission because of desperation, they did not do due diligence.
Professor Onyuka explained that accreditation is a continuous process, adding that newly established universities are expected to begin accreditation of their programs from their second year of operation. He noted that lecturers and education stakeholders can easily identify suspicious institutions where no accreditation process takes place after several academic sessions. The education expert advocated stiff legal sanctions, including arrest and imprisonment, for operators of fake universities, warning that the menace would persist without effective punishment.
So it is, you are having the human capacity, you are having technology capacity, you are having infrastructural capacity. If you don't have all this, they are not going to waive it. I know that for sure. They want to ensure. And again, in the next 2 years, they are coming back for accreditation. So, and if you have, faked those things, will you fake them again? Because these are some of the things. It is every 2 years. Once they approve you, they will leave you for 2 years. By the time your students are in the second year, they want to see what you have done, what you are going to do before they accredit. That is why they have partial, interim, and full accreditation.
Professor Onyuka advised students who discover they have gained admission into fake universities not to lose hope, but to begin afresh through legitimate institutions. He also urged prospective students and parents to verify the accreditation status of universities with the National Universities Commission before seeking admission to avoid falling victims to fraudulent institutions. Fidora Afolagwe, BCOS News.
For many families, pets are more than just animals. They are loyal companions that provide comfort, security, and emotional support. As pet ownership continues to grow in Nigeria, experts say keeping pets offer numerous physical, mental, and social benefits when they are properly cared for. In this report, Folashade Akintola examines the importance of keeping pets and corresponding responsibilities.
Across many homes in Nigeria, dogs, cats, birds, and other domestic animals are increasingly becoming part of family lives. While some people keep pets for security, others value them for companionship, recreations, and even income generation. Speaking with BCOS News, veterinary doctor Dr. John Famoyi described pets as an animal that is cared for, loved, and regarded as a member of the family. He noted that although dogs and cats remain the most common pets in Nigeria, other animals such as rabbits, bears, and some exotic species are also kept by enthusiasts. Dr. Famoyi explained that before acquiring a pet, prospective owners should first determine the purpose for keeping one, as this will guide them in choosing the most suitable animal.
When you pick a pet, it will give you security, it will give you companionship, it could serve as a work dog for you. It could also serve as a means of making money for you. You as a person must define what you want, what type of pet you want to keep, and why you're keeping it.
The veterinary expert also said pet ownership contributes significantly to the upbringing of responsible children. According to him, children who participate in caring for pets often develop empathy, compassion, and a strong sense of responsibility, qualities that positively influence their relationship with others as they grow.
One of the good things about keeping the pet in the house, essentially, it's a good tool for raising children. But the child that can take care of a pet will definitely take care of the human beings around him. If it's a man, he's going to grow up to be a lovely husband. If it's a woman, it's going to be one of the best wives the world could produce.
Speaking on the responsibility of pet ownership, Dr. Famoyi stressed that owners must see themselves as caregivers committed to meeting the welfare needs of their animals. He advised that every pet should be provided with suitable accommodation, whether a kennel for dog, a cage for rabbits, and appropriate enclosures for other animals. He also emphasized the importance of proper feeding, regular veterinary care, vaccinations, hygiene, and adequate attention to ensure pets remain healthy and safe.
Each category of animal has its own vaccine program, and you have to be able to follow it religiously to keep it healthy. But the vaccine is supposed to prevent the problem. Remember, the dog or the cat or the tortoise or the parrot never asks you to come and pick him. It's you that decide you want to pick it. So please be well prepared before you pick a pet.
Experts say keeping pets can enrich lives, strengthen family bonds, and promote responsible behavior. However, they noted that these benefits can only be realized when pet owners are committed to providing proper care and meeting their animals' welfare needs. They therefore advise prospective pet owners to seek professional guidance before acquiring a pet and to ensure they are fully prepared for the long-term responsibility that comes with responsible pet ownership. Folashade Akitola, BCOS News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has urged eligible Nigerians to take advantage of the remaining days of the continuous voter registration, warning that the registration window will close on Sunday, July 26, 2026. On a public notice issued on its X handle on Saturday, the electoral body reminded prospective voters that they could complete the registration online from start to finish through its dedicated CVR portal or visit designated registration centers nationwide for physical assistance. INEC encouraged Nigerians who require assistance to visit any of the state offices, local government area offices, or designated registration centers to complete the process in person. The Commission also stated that all registration centers will remain open daily, including weekends, from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. until the exercise ends. It's now time for the sports segment.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment. I am Boluwaji Ogbumola. Starting from the local scene, El Kanemi Warriors have unveiled King Emmanuel as their new technical advisor. The unveiling ceremony took place at the Colonel Abdulmumuni Aminu Camp, Maiduguri, on Friday. Emmanuel takes over from Kabiru Dogo, who left the role at the end of last season. Dogo, who guided the Borno Army to win the 2026 President Federation Cup, has linked up with Niger Tornadoes. El Kanemi Warriors were relegated from the Nigeria Premier Football League last season. Emmanuel has been tasked with ensuring the club's immediate return to the top flight. The Maiduguri club will also compete in the CAF Confederations Cup next season. Defending champion Super Falcons of Nigeria arrived Rabat on Friday for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Justin Madugu's side set up camp in Casablanca for the tournament last week Monday. The players and the officials will be officially received by the Confederation of African Football CAF and the local organizing committee. The Super Falcons defeated the Twiga Stars of Tanzania 2-1 in a friendly encounter during the week. The Super Falcons will begin their title defense against the Scorchers of Malawi at the Al Madina Stadium, Rabat, next week, Tuesday. To the foreign scene, AC Milan legend Andrea Pirlo is set to become the head coach of Italy's national football team. According to Fabrizio Romano, the Italian Federation approached Pirlo on Friday over the head coach role for the next 4 years. Pirlo is now clear favorite to take over and become the new Italy head coach. This comes after both Pep Guardiola and Carlo Ancelotti turned down approaches from the Italian Federation over the vacant coaching job. Recall that Gennaro Gattuso left his role as Italy head coach in April by mutual agreement after failing to qualify the team for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Germany on Friday appointed Jurgen Klopp as its new head coach of the national football team. Jurgen Klopp signed a contract that runs until the 2030 World Cup after leaving Liverpool in 2024. The 59-year-old won 6 trophies as Liverpool manager at Anfield in 9 years. Jurgen Klopp replaced Julian Nagelsmann in the role after his German side were knocked out of the 2026 FIFA World Cup at the round of 32 stage against Paraguay on penalties. He had reached an agreement to take over the national team on Saturday, 11th July, following talks in New York. And that's sports. Thanks for watching.
On the foreign scene, France and Spain have evacuated nearly 200,000 people as out-of-control forest fires raged today near Madrid and Bordeaux, with the French army drafted into the fight against the worst wildfire the country has ever seen. The smell of burning reached central Madrid earlier today as Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez was set to visit the zone rocked by what officials have called the surrounding region's worst fire on record. The major fires have been burning for 2 or 3 days, with many hundreds of firefighters battling them around the clock to the point of exhaustion. Both countries have asked for assistance from the European Union. French President Emmanuel Macron ordered the military to enter the ferry fray, which hits residents and holidaymakers alike at the peak of France's vacation season. At least 141,000 people have been evacuated in southwestern France, along with 25,000 in the Madrid region. Among them are more than 1,200 elderly and disabled people. We will now join a foreign news editor, Folashade Akintola, for the rest of the stories.
The crash happened on Saturday on the days Azor-Damascus Road, a crucial highway stretching more than 400 kilometers, that is about 249 miles, that connects eastern Syria to the capital. The accident occurred between Al-Sukna and Palmyra. The Ministry of Interior said one of the buses was carrying members of the internal security forces, while the other was transporting civilians.
I saw information about the crash at 6 a.m. this morning. I saw it on the internet, and as my nephew was in Turkey, I started searching on the internet. I called Bezatrans for the number for 3-4 hours, and we do not have any information for them, nor are they answering their phone.
The ministry added that ambulances had been dispatched to the scene. According to the state-run Syrian Arab news agency SANA, several helicopters were also sent to the crash site to medically evacuate the injured to Homs Military Hospital. The highway is known to have poor safety standards, reflecting the dire state of Syria's civilian infrastructure following a civil war that lasted nearly 14 years. Saudi Arabia has launched airstrikes on the Houthi-controlled city of Hudaydah in Yemen, marking the latest escalation in the ongoing regional conflict involving the United States and Iran. The attacks come amid heightened military and diplomatic tensions across the Middle East. Despite the rising hostilities, United States President Donald Trump said dialogue between Washington and Tehran is continuing, adding that a previously threatened massive military strike may no longer be necessary. He, however, maintained that the U.S. military remains locked and loaded should the situation deteriorate. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi insisted that Tehran would not be intimidated by threats or external pressure, reaffirming Iran's resolve amid the growing crisis. Meanwhile, violence has also intensified in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli military announced the launch of what it described as counter-terrorism operations and imposed a curfew in parts of the territory following clashes southwest of Nablus that left 6 people dead, including 4 Palestinians and 2 Israeli soldiers. The latest developments have heightened concerns over the possibility of a wider regional conflict, with international observers urging restraint and renewed diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation. Finally, Israel is pushing ahead with its military crackdown across the occupied West Bank, arresting dozens following a shooting that killed 4 Palestinians and 2 Israeli soldiers. On Saturday morning, Israeli forces arrested nearly 50 Palestinians in the village of Tal, southwest of Nablus, where Friday's shooting took place, while raiding roughly 70 homes. Footage posted by Quds News Network shows 2 blindfolded men being led away by Israeli soldiers. The arrests are part of what Israel's military has described as an extensive operation launched in response to Friday's shooting. On Friday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz ordered a wide-scale military operation in Palestinian villages across the occupied West Bank following an attack near the illegal Avat Gilad settlement that killed 2 Israeli soldiers and wounded 3 others. According to sources and witnesses, Israeli settlers attacked several Palestinian communities in the Nablus governorate, setting fire to Palestinian homes and other property. The Palestinian Health Ministry says at least 87 Palestinians have been killed by Israelis in attacks across the West Bank since the beginning of the year, 21 of them by settlers who critics say have become emboldened by the lack of international pressure on Israel to end its siege of Gaza. Bimbo Akambi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerian medical doctors and other healthcare professionals in the diaspora to return home and lend their expertise to the ongoing transformation of the nation's health sector. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has raised concerns over the state of child protection in Nigeria, revealing that 6 in every 10 children experience some form of abuse while only 2 in 5 children under 5 have their births registered. And on the foreign scene, France and Spain have evacuated nearly 200,000 people as out-of-control forest fires raged today near Madrid and Bordeaux, with the French army drafted into the fight against the worst wildfire the country has ever seen. BCOS TV is now on Niger TV app, and you can reach us from any parts of the world. Also, BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. You can also reach us on GoTV channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. Now, before I go, if you see something suspicious, alert the authority for timely response. Be vigilant. And that's the end of the news around the world. Thank you for watching.
So disinfect your living room every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo.
Everything just dey go up. No good news for TV or radio again.
Now wow. Even the generator where you dey use, watch the TV sef go soon quench. Fuel don almost finish.
Wetin man go do now?
I love these their graphics. Okay. 22 Jesus Palace, Ikolaba Estate invites everyone to the 27th anniversary of the church. The Lord has been faithful to us and is doing marvelous things in our midst. We want people of God to celebrate and enjoy God's presence this Sunday, 26th July 2026. Time, 11 a.m. Pastor Ayorin Diawe, PICP Oyo Province 22, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, General Overseer. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come and you shall be blessed. Announcer, Anniversary Committee. This is to inform the general public, especially parents, guardians, and students in junior secondary schools throughout the state, that the basic education certificate examination is scheduled to hold between Monday, 27th July and Wednesday, 5th August, 2026. The examination commences by 8:30 a.m. daily at the respective schools of the candidates. Also, the 2026 screening placement exercise, also known as Common Entrance Examination into junior secondary schools, will come up on Thursday, 6th August 2026. The exercise commences by 7 a.m. at the designated screening centers for screening placement exercise. Students are enjoined to come with their writing materials to the examination hall. The principals are directed to make proper and adequate arrangement for the vigilation of the examination throughout the period. Ministry officials and members of the Oyo State Examination Ethics Committee will be moving around to monitor the exercise and ensure that the integrity of the examination is not compromised. The students and pupils are enjoined in their own interest to avoid all forms of examination malpractice, and members of the public are strictly warned against loitering at these schools and designated screening centers. Announcer, Honorable Olaiwola Olusegun, Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology.
In Biggie's house, there's no place to hide. And even when you think no one is watching, the energy can swing in an instant. This BB Naija Season 11, everything burns brighter. Only the biggest moves tip the scale because nothing is given, but everything is for the taking. When the world watches, will you be outshined or will you step up and take the spotlight? Big Brother Naija Season 11 starts Sunday, July 26th, showing 24/7 on DSTV Channel 198 and GoTV Channel 49. Headline sponsor, Bet Power.
With heavy hearts but in total submission to the will of Almighty Allah, we announce the passing of our mother and grandmother, Chief Al-Haja Asiata Aduke Arowolo, Abeseyaloja Agbeni Ibadan, Omo Arowolo Ashubiaro Agadagudu of Okeare, Bere Ibadan. She passed away on the 20th of July 2026 at the age of 88. She was a woman of strength, wisdom and grace. Fidal prayers hold Monday, 27th July at her residence, Iyano Church, behind Dizen Golf, Ibadan, by 10 a.m., followed by a reception at Rose Events and Functions, Kolakwa Ishola Estate, Monoton, Iwo Road, Ibadan. She is survived by her children, grandchildren, and extended family.
Àgbàkú olóòpó àyàn Asúbíàrò Agẹdẹgúdù Olóde Òkúta Àbòkèdè ẹ̀sùn Kòmókò wálé ọkọ̀ Ọ̀ṣunbùnmi Kòpakòbọ̀ ọkọ̀ Ọ̀bẹ́jì Àjànàkú mọ́rin ọ̀la irin tí mú mi púpọ̀ agbégi ńlá sokọ́ ọ̀tẹ̀rọ̀ kò fi dàrú àrẹ́nsì ọ̀mọ bọ̀sùn ọ̀ràn kò kan sòrùsà ọba àbòrìṣà ọba àgbọ̀bàtálá Asúbíàrò ní í ṣe ní kánrin kése onígànbọ̀ wúrà ọkọ̀ Ọ̀ṣunbùnmi ìran gangan jigan ara gbogbo kìkì ogun wọn kókó.
Súnrẹ́ o, ìyá wa Asiata Arowolo, lókè Ìbàdàn. Announcer Taiwo Adébọ̀wálé and Mogaji Amidu Adekunle Busari for the Egunjemi